It's a pleasure having you join us on the news on NT International at this time. Omino Dennis, my name. The headlines. Financial autonomy. Speakers of State House of Assemblies challenged to formalize concerns. Senate passes 2019 financial bill. Fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability in Nigeria. State governors bending backwards for smooth implementation of World Bank program. With the news in detail, we begin with the news indicating that the Conference of Speakers of State Legislators of Nigeria have been directed to make a formal representation to the Presidency on areas of concerns regarding the implementation of the financial autonomy granted state assemblies and state judiciary by the Constitution for necessary action. President Muhammadu Buhari will give the directive while granting audience to the chairman and members of the conference maintains that equity and fairness must prevail in governance. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
With love and strength and faith.
Members of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria were led to the State House by their chairman, Mudashiru Obasa of the Lagos State Assembly. Their mission to show appreciation to the President for assenting to the Fourth Alteration Act of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which granted financial autonomy to both the state parliaments and judiciary. That singular act, according to them, was a clear demonstration of President Buhari's strong passion for an independent legislature as an essential ingredient for good governance in the country. Mr. Obasa, however, alerted the President that the objectives of the constitutional provision are yet to be fully achieved and called for his intervention.
We therefore humbly call on Mr. President to issue an executive order mandating the Accountant General of the Federation to deduct allocation for the state legislature and state judiciary from source during Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting of any state of the Federation that fails to release the budget of the state legislature and judiciary to them in line with the financial autonomy guaranteed by provision of Section 1213 of 1999 Constitution.
The state lawmakers used the opportunity to, amongst others, commend the President for his doggedness and determination towards stamping out corruption and all kinds of criminal behaviors in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari appreciated the engagement with the leadership of the state assemblies, saying he is now better informed, especially on issues relating to the implementation of the autonomy granted them and the judiciary.
I try to be as loyal as humanly possible to the Constitution. Please make a formal written submission to my office to ensure it receives the most appropriate attention. I also want to assure you that we remain committed to ensuring that equity and fairness prevails in governance.
The President promised to periodically consult the Conference of State Assembly Speakers towards enhancing democracy, strengthening its institutions, and positively impacting government interventions across Nigeria.
As you are aware, the focus of this government is to ensure collective prosperity for our citizens through the provision of jobs and security and economic opportunity while eliminating corruption in public service.
Already, President Buhari said his administration has started restoring the nation's critical infrastructure to levels that the nation desires, while allocating significant resources to key social services sectors, especially in health, education, as well as empowerment programs. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still on constitutional matters, this time on finance. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee Wednesday shared a total of 702.058 billion naira to the three tiers of government for the month of October 2019. Benny Adams has details.
The 702.058 billion naira comprised of revenue from value-added tax, exchange gain, and solid minerals revenue.
This figure is higher than what was recorded in the previous month, which was 693 billion 529 million, and the difference is 8 billion 530 million.
A breakdown of the allocation shows the federal government got 295.737 billion naira, states got 192.697 billion naira, while the local governments got 144.987 billion naira. The oil-producing states shared 49.164 as 13% derivation, while cost of collection stood at 19.472 billion naira.
The balance in the excess crude account as at 19th November 2019 is $324.036 million.
The next meeting is proposed for mid-December. Benny Adams, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Nigerians entrepreneur Temi Giwa Tobosun, inaugural winner of the African Business Hero Award founded by the renowned Chinese technology entrepreneur Jack Ma. The award, accompanied by a cash prize of $250,000, is only the latest in a series of inspiring wins by Giwa Tobosun in recent years. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President acknowledges the huge impact Life Bank has made in a relatively short time. President Buhari reiterates the commitment of his administration to creating the right environment for business and innovation to thrive in the country. President Buhari urges Nigerian youths to emulate Giwa Tobosun's can-do spirit and problem-solving approach, as well as her firm belief in the potential of our fatherland. Also, the federal government has started implementing enhanced strategies geared towards setting aside the entire P&ID liability and possibility of nullification of the contract. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, made this known as he sheds light on the development relating to the case. A statement signed by the Special Assistant on Media and Publicity Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Omar Jibrilu Gwandu, the minister said under the new strategy, new lawyers were replaced, but more lawyers with specialized skills are locally and internationally engaged to support the existing capacity and initiate fresh suits with a view to achieve the desired results. It further states that the Nigerian government will not sell out the interests of the country and the Nigerian people in order to satisfy some elements who are consciously out to extort the Nigerian people for their selfish aggrandizement. From the legislature, the Nigerian Senate, the Nigerian Governors Forum is working out modalities for the smooth and accelerated implementation of World Bank State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this was one of the decisions taken at the 7th meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum.
In quick successions, the Governors Forum is meeting to decide on issues concerning their state and the country in general. This time around, the World Bank standard in the management of resources and sustaining effective fiscal planning regime tops discussion.
Following a presentation from the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation on SIFTA's annual performance appraisal mission to states, members committed to working with independent verification agents, IVAs, to ensure that the APA process does not experience any delays.
The Aliko Dangote and Bill Melinda Gates Foundation on Human Capital Development were on hand to update the governors on basic health. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, who presided over the meeting, says the forum is committed to increasing access to productivity and wealth creation, just as they are developing effective frameworks in collaboration with World Bank and UNICEF to promote adolescent girls' initiatives for learning and empowerment.
Governors promised to hold a dedicated session to which consensus on what matters most for states and a common agenda to improve the well-being of all Nigerians.
Federal government's policies and reforms on improving the living standard of the citizenry also received endorsement of the forum in Abuja. Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
From the legislature, the Senate has passed the Finance Bill 2019 transmitted by President Muhammadu Buhari. The executive bill, with 5 strategic objectives, seeks to increase revenue generation through tax reforms to fund federal government's revenue projections of 8.155 trillion naira in the 2020 appropriation bill, block leakages arising from inefficient and ineffective tax incentives, and expand tax exemption items. The proposed law also seeks to increase VAT from 5 to 7.5%, amend the insurance taxation rules aimed at creating a level playing field for insurance companies, extend stamp duties to electronic receipts, introduce tax rules to capture digital economy and service rendered offshore. The Senate Committee on Finance, which scrutinized the executive bill, recommended that all annual budgets be accompanied by a similar bill. Still from the legislature, the House of Representatives is to launch an investigation into privatized government companies which have been deemed non-performing. House members, in supporting a matter of urgent public importance moved by OC Prestige, noted the abysmal performance over the years of some privatized government companies, thus casting doubts on the implementation of the privatization policy of government, particularly in the power sector. Lawmakers said the federal government owns 40% equity shares in some of the entities, also to be investigated by the House, as resolved is a contract said to have been awarded in 2017, by the Minister of Transportation through NIMASA, worth more than $195 million for the supply of security surveillance equipment at ports. The House urged NIMASA to halt all payments on the said contracts. The need for another satellite to complement what is required to drive the national digital economy has been brought to the attention of the House Committee on ICT. The Managing Director of the Nigerian Communications Satellite NICOMSAT, Dr. Abimbola Alale, made the request when the committee members visited the agency for oversight duties. Joseph Johnson reports that the legislators promised to formulate a policy framework that will address the challenges faced by the agency.
Improved revenue generation for Nigeria and the creation of many digital jobs were reasons the Minister of Communications, Issa Pantami, advanced for the change of name to Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. What that implies is the ministry is magnifying its attention on ICT, considering the sector's contributions to the GDP, and satellite is a key component. But the appraisal by members of House Committee on ICT after inspecting the facility at the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited signaled displeasure.
With what I've seen here and the kind of negligence from the board side, I felt disappointed because this is a dilapidating structure here where Nigeria, if it is properly put in place, we can generate trillions of naira and do away with the oil.
We need the intervention of this committee and the support of the government to revive and reposition this company.
If the right policy framework is eventually formulated as proposed by the committee, many here are optimistic that NICOMSAT will not only take Nigeria to space, but will also increase Nigeria's pace in becoming at par with developed countries in space world. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NT International, reaching you from Abuja. We take a short break and be right back. Don't go away.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic.
There's me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK.
Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels with the one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do, Abi?
And I see as I do,
Go TV. Live it. Love it.
And I see as we do,
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thanks for joining us, for staying tuned. We begin this segment with reports from security. The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has neutralized some Islamic states of West Africa province leaders and destroyed their meeting venue at Jubilalam in the northern part of Borno State. A statement by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola. The operations was executed on 19 November 2019, sequel to intelligence report indicating that some top ISWAP leaders had assembled for meeting at a compound within the settlement, which also served as their storage area. Consequently, the Air Task Force dispatched a Nigerian Air Force intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance platform as well as fighter jets to attack the location, leading to neutralization of the terrorists and the destruction of some of their structures, which were engulfed in flames. Moving on now, President Muhammadu Buhari has called on security agencies and communities under threats of bandits attacks and kidnappings to be more vigilant and alert in the light of the latest incidents in Enugu, Zamfara, Adamawa, Katsina, and Kaduna states. Reacting to the recent reports of heightened acts of violence and kidnappings after a period of relative inactivity, the president observed that in view of the unpredictability of the security situation, Nigeria's security forces and the communities affected should be ever more red alert. A press statement by a senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president notes that complacency, which is a hidden or unnoticed enemy, should not be taken for granted because doing so weakens Nigeria's strategies. The president, however, noted that the affected communities also have a responsibility to help the security agencies with the critically important human intelligence in order to stop the bandits in their tracks. Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the 2019 World Philosophy Day with a domestic theme, Nigeria, Philosophy and Security. Austin Anyebe reports that security experts and philosophers use the day to deliberate on other social challenges.
The day is not meant to remember the literary works of great philosophers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle and others alone, but to key into the global call on obtaining regional contribution to world debates on contemporary challenges that impede on social transformations, hence the choice of the theme, Nigeria, Philosophy and Security.
The military is even doing policing job. They've gone down they are actually doing the job meant for the Nigerian police, the job meant for the civil defense. That's what the army and navy and air force, that's what they are doing now.
We all have to be conscious. We all have to give information to the security agencies. That's why I said that cooperation with them is a necessity if we want to feel more secure.
At a time when radicality and speed of the great upheavals in the world sometimes confuses us, philosophy is immensely helpful.
We are not quick to rehabilitate people. We are not quick to use wisdom to guide and mentor people.
Philosophers and security experts have the view that the nation is drifting because professionals are not playing their expected roles in nation building.
We need to start from the beginning. The entire response, the entire approach to how the insurgency, how Boko Haram started, was faulty.
The take home from the day is that with love, wisdom, and doing the right thing, there will be peace and justice in Nigeria. The World Philosophy Day was adopted in 2005 by UNESCO. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
For some trending news outside Nigeria, let's join Uche Ugochukwu.
The UN nuclear watchdog and Iran plan to discuss the discovery of uranium traces at an undeclared site in Tehran next week, the agency's acting chief said on Thursday, adding that Iran had not provided more information about the origin of the particles. Reuters first reported in September that the International Atomic Energy Agency found the uranium traces at the site that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu drew attention to in a speech last year, calling it a secret atomic warehouse. But Tehran claimed the site is a carpet cleaning facility. Elsewhere, North Korea has rejected an invitation for leader Kim Jong-un to attend a planned summit in South Korea next week with Southeast Asian nations, saying it would be pointless due to strained ties with Seoul. The invitation was meant to ally international support for the two leaders' joint efforts to foster peace. Finally, from South Africa, the arrest of a senior member of the governing African National Congress, Bongani Bongo, on 13 charges of corruption and bribery sends a powerful message about the war against corruption in the country. President Cyril Ramaphosa has often been criticized for being too slow in his fight against corruption. Mr. Bongo did not enter a plea in his court appearance on Thursday. He was released on bail and is due back in court in January. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.